But then the odd thing too is one thing that we experience with some of our listings is, even if there's like a $10,000 to $15,000 in wiggle room on the price where a seller's willing, to come down, the buyers maybe won't even come through the door. So let's talk a little bit about pricing your home because right now we're working with a lot of sellers getting their homes on the market. And so, of course, trying to be strategic about getting the most amount of money for your home while remaining competitive, to get that traffic through the door. Mm-hmm. And it's all this kind of, it's what is that beautiful mind, that chart where you're like looking at an equation, trying to make it all make sense.
Right.
So the process kind of goes like this. We pull comparable properties that have actually sold, ideally in the last 90 days in your specific neighborhood. But in some cases, we have to go back out 180 to 365 days. What we're looking at is we're trying to compare your home to what actually sold, right? But we're also needing to factor in some of those maintenance items. Maybe you just replace the roof. Updates that can be done to a home. We're talking roof, water heater, HVAC, foundation in some cases. But then we also have the cosmetic, right, which is what usually attracts buyers and gets buyers through the door. Your bathroom updates, right? Shower tile, like a recent bathroom update. If you did it 10 years ago, it's probably due for another. Your kitchen.
Or just doesn't carry the same amount of weight.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So all of those things. So we have to kind of look at the whole picture. And then we also have to take a step back and see how many other homes in your neighborhood are on the market. Because if there are 20 of you, that will influence how much you can push the price.
Well, like we've talked about before, Houston has seen a 20% increase in new listings from last year. Mm-hmm. So competition-wise, it's already up.
Yeah. And it's very fluid. It's constantly changing.
Well, just to give you some doom and gloom, 50% of house contracts fell through last year.
Yeah.
Listings pulled, etc.
Yeah.
We had 22% reduction in prices in September. Mm-hmm. We'll have to look at the numbers, what it looks like today.
So 22% price reductions in September mean, what does that mean? They listed it at a higher price, they reduced the price, and it still didn't sell. Right. And so then what happened come October is they pulled it. Or they pulled it off the market. Maybe they're going to try again in the spring. Maybe they're going to go in a different direction and just rent it out to buy them some more time.
Right. Well, let's talk about this idea about leverage, about who has control of negotiation at different points in a listing.
Well, I think that when you price it well, you will see that you will have more power and more control of the negotiations on day one rather than day 250.
Right.
Because at day 250, at that point, you're desperate to get any kind of offer, right? You're already thinking like, hey, the year is passing me by. I've got some payments I need to make to the HOA. Maybe I've got my property taxes due. Maybe I need to renew my homeowner's insurance. That is completely different than, hey, I priced it really well. Now I have showings and I have interest and it's day one on the market. Do you think that seller day one will come off the price? Likely not.
Right. And that leverage kind of holds till about day 14 and then there's kind of a waning effect.
But then the odd thing too is one thing that we experience with some of our listings is, even if there's like a $10,000 to $15,000 in wiggle room on the price where a seller's willing, to come down, the buyers maybe won't even come through the door if they think it's priced too high. So that's been the weirdest thing is they're watching it. And we can tell because we're tracking the data. Right. We're seeing like, hey, it's been saved 85 times. How odd that we don't have an offer on this.
We have one listing that's been on the market for less than 30 days and has 2,500 views on homes.com.
So they are looking at it. Yeah. Maybe they're just not coming through the door. So why is that? So usually what that tells me is they think it's priced too high.
Right.
They're wanting to see if we're going to make that adjustment. And sometimes when that happens, then you start seeing the wave of traffic. Yeah. Different parts of town.
So to kind of recap, that number that you want to get is monopoly money until you've closed.
It's hypothetical.
Right. It's 100% hypothetical. Yeah. And then the other thing to consider is, what are your holdover costs? What are your interest rates, your utility bills? Like, assess what that is for 3 months at a time.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of see, like, let's say a $10,000 reduction. If that buys you 3 months, I mean, it may be a wash in the end with taxes, insurance, utility bills.
Right. The holdover. Yeah. Yeah.